let me tell you, it good. Honestly, how can windows bring so much joy? It's hard to capture, honestly. I've had a lovely day. Is it me though, or is the energy of this month like really, I don't know, like really sped up, kind of unhinged? This place is very frustrating because it's such a gorgeous haven, and the truth is, even though I'm like going, it's so aesthetically pleasing, let me capture content, the truth is, I didn't even have time to move my stuff over, so I'm kind of scampering down the road to come and film here. Do my morning meditation here. And I didn't even really have time to kind of move in and relax and soaking up. Yeah, there's been no time to like chill out and soak it up and enjoy it. And there's so many things I would have wanted to do here. But the problem is I'm actually working. I've had surprise recording from a client. Got friends visiting. Well, it just seems like it's August, so everyone comes to the seaside. So like so many family gatherings and commitments. Friends coming to stay. Spare room, double, triple booked. And the spare room is where I record. I'm supposed to go to Mexico. Oh, well, I'm supposed to. I am going to Mexico on the 29th. It's very unlikely I'll edit this video and get it out before then. Because I just feel like I have no time. And there's something really annoying about having like access to this gorgeous like art gallery-esque 3-meter high ceilings, chandelier filled blank space with this gorgeous windows, and just running around like a headless chicken trying to get recording done, which is ironic because I've been thinking like, fuck, the gravy train's gonna run out. I'm not gonna be able to get clients, like the AI apocalypse is coming. And yet somehow, I do not know how, I'm still receiving work. And it's too much, you know? I'm trying to like maintain my relationships with my friends and family, maintain my body. And I'm so lucky to have a job that I mostly like. I mean, I do voice recording, that's all I do. And I also kind of concluded that I was never gonna pay rent again, you know, in a kind of focused way, because it's a waste of money and people let you stay in their houses for free. Yeah, or they sometimes even pay you to do it. I'm not getting paid this time. Hashtag not sponsored by this beautiful house. But very frustrated that I can't leverage it more, film it more, enjoy it more, lie around in it more. Even when I have one of the easiest jobs ever. I still don't love having a job though. I mean, I can definitely fill my day with things that are not a job. And I find those things more worthwhile, honestly. But I do like having money, so there's that. I feel sad. There's a kind of frustration, a longing, a desire. But what's it even for? This happens to me sometimes, you know. I'm like, I'll do vlogging. But you can't, like, this is the kind of nature of inspiration and creativity, isn't it? The muse, she cannot be raped. You've got to do it when you feel like doing it. You can't, you can't force it. And that's annoying because it's fear-based though, isn't it? Because like, why am I kind of like being oppressed? I've stayed in so many beautiful houses and it seems to just keep happening. But I mean, yeah, I guess it's gonna, so I don't need to be like fearful that I'll never stay in a beautiful house again. But goddamn, I do like this living room. It is very inspiring to me. So it's ironic then that I'm like, sit down and do a vlog, and I suddenly don't have anything to say. Not anything to say. I have loads that I could talk about. But I suppose I just want to sit in this chair and stare out at the ocean, rather than ranting about my opinions, which is quite unusual, I guess. Normally, I can't wait to share. I don't know if you can hear the dogs barking. The dogs live directly across the road from my mum's house. And in that house, there's a grown-up daughter in my age group who lived abroad, loves dogs, and came home with these two like traumatized dogs, like big stray dogs from Turkey, who have like severe separation anxiety, and they bark a lot. She never makes eye contact with me. Normally, I don't know why, I'm everyone's best friend in this town. Everyone's so sound and friendly. I'm like, I don't even really officially live here, although maybe now I suppose I do. But it always blows my mind how this town is, it was like my holiday destination when I was a kid. Because my mum's best friend lives here, so we'd come and visit and get in the sea. So I started early. And then of course, later in life, my mum bought a house on the same street as her best pal. So that's where I'm staying now. So yeah, I guess I regard this place as a kind of holiday destination, which is fine with me because I think living the sort of life where you feel like you're on holiday at all times is some shit I'm really into, something to aspire to, something I'm working on every day. But yeah, I'm best pals with all the neighbours, everyone says hello to me, like tourists seem to know that I live here and ask me for directions, and I'm always so honoured. I'm like, oh, I look like I'm a seaside person. This is great. Because I used to go to like Cornwall a lot when I was a child as well. That was our summer holiday, camping in Cornwall. And I remember like walking around like Padstow when I was a really insecure tween, and being like, God, and you'd see the local kids and they'd all be like really cool somehow, they'd all be really tan and like really relaxed in the way that you could just tell, it's like it was obvious if someone like lived in a town and was visiting versus like the kids that lived there in the seaside place. Yeah, because it was just like always really like athletic and like golden, like smooth skin, and they're all kind of like scruffy in this like very particular seaside way. I mean, I guess I've kind of like lived up to this aesthetic in later life. But yeah, I feel honoured to make the impression that I'm one of these people. It's fucking great. So yeah, I love how friendly this place is. Which wasn't at all necessarily what I would have talked about. I've got a long list of things. Shall I actually look at my phone and see what things I've written down to talk about on camera? That'd be good, wouldn't it? Maybe it wouldn't be good, maybe it would be fucking stupid, but... It's good, it's funny. I have talked about quite a lot of these things, it's alright. I don't need to make a full video about that, but this sentence, number 2 on the list, is hilarious. It says, confession, I had a sex dream about Andrew Tate. Which is genuinely true. Maybe I'm making that video right now. Fuck. And it was... It's really fun. For the record, obviously Andrew Tate is not an attractive person to me. You know, if he's your thing, no judgment. But it's not like I'm going around, ooh yeah, Andrew Tate. And it was just before my boyfriend broke up with me. And like, I guess it was a harbinger of that in a way, because I had started to feel like, even at long distance, which is the situation that it was, like even at long distance, I feel like very kind of like mentally stimulated and involved with my partner. But it has to be kind of reciprocated, like the fire has to be kept alive. So long distance, not a problem, but it's got to be, you know, mutual. So I guess on some level I kind of knew, because I didn't consciously know anything was wrong in my relationship because my ex just didn't tell me. But my sex drive has been consistently high. Well, for what feels like decades at this point. It's not a problem. But I actually noticed that I just didn't feel sexual energy. It just felt a bit flat, and I was like, I don't love this, but I suppose it makes sense. I'm 40. And normally I've got like a wild imagination and a lot of kind of like a huge connection with my body, and I don't use porn at all because I think it's I don't know, I think it's like a kind of reduces something sacred into a kind of toxic, addictive product that isn't really like the real thing, and it trains your brain into kind of like lazy neural pathways, and I don't feel good after I use it, and who does, honestly? If you are that type of psycho, good luck to you and your porn usage. But yeah, and also I think it's not necessary. I was like coming down with sexual energy like throughout all of like my 20s, 30s, and most of this year as well. I turned 40 last year, but I thought, oh god, sex drive dying a bit. It's just like I didn't have a lot of kind of, you know, rampant sex thoughts, which I normally would. And anyway, but I think it was because on some level, like I knew that I wasn't kind of like, I knew there was some like something stuck in communication with my partner. And subsequently, actually, since he broke up with me, I'm like, oh, but it came back. I was like, oh, I felt like oppressed sexually on some level, like I'm not able to express myself or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's not the point, but that I did have a sex dream about Andrew Tate, and it was one of those things where you wake up, and I didn't even really remember or start talking about it until months later, because I just woke up and went, oh, and I don't remember anything specific, but I just remember it was about a feeling. It's about a feeling that I actually genuinely really want to have, and I do find really attractive, and it just is unfortunate that my subconscious produced Andrew Tate as the object of this feeling. But that feeling, it's a dream, isn't it? And it was months ago, so I can't really fully, describe a storyline of what happened. But I remember like being in a kind of like, you're like, what is the memory of it? Like, it's really vague. It's like, just like a kind of sex cloud thing. Like, it's sort of just knowing that, like, I was involved with Andrew Tate, which is so embarrassing to admit, so funny and stupid. But it was, like, very much that thing that I guess he teaches, like, I own you, I take care of you, like, you're my property, like, you have to behave a certain way. And it's like, and it felt really good. It felt really relaxing. And like, I was kind of like the object of like sexual focus, and that felt really good. And there was all that kind of like protective, like, macho stuff around it. Which, take Andrew Tate out of the equation, that is something I would love to feel with a man. That's something I love to devote myself to a man who is like that. That is fine with me. Which kind of also feels like a bit of an edgy thing to say. And so, yeah, I kind of had that little think about it. Didn't mention it to anyone because, you can't go around having sex dreams about Andrew Tate. But it is quite shameful to admit, and that I enjoyed it. But I guess, yeah, like on some level, I did not feel that like hyper-masculine protective energy in my relationship, and I was right, because I was not being protected by this person. In fact, I was being deceived about his regard for me. He was just stringing me along and wasting my time. Yeah. And then I went through this breakup and just spending more time talking to my friends. And a friend who was performing in the Edinburgh Fringe was going through an existential crisis, as you do. She was feeling really down and just shit about herself, and it was about stuff that I couldn't do anything about, and I just wanted to make my friend feel better. And I suddenly remembered, and so I just drug it back up from my deep subconscious and was like, oh my god, this happened. And she found it hilarious, and so I hope you enjoy it as well. But yeah, if I'm truly honest, I think like there's something gross about him, but to me there's nothing gross about that kind of like strong, protective, masculine energy. And it's so cringe to admit that that's what I was craving and wanting. Had a dream about it, woke up and felt kind of like sexually like awakened out of like, a dormant energy, suddenly rekindled, and like kind of realizing, oh, it's about someone that you have like kind of gross preconceptions about. But also another thing is like, I mean, I don't watch the news. I know there's lots of like crazy news stories about Andrew Tate. All I know about him is interviews that I've watched with him on like sort of like fun podcasts. He was on Tom Segura and Christina P's podcast, Your Mum's House. That was really funny. And he handled the banter well, and just like what he actually isn't he just teaching self-respect for men and standing up for yourself for men? I know lots of people think that it's not that, but I haven't seen him say, I mean, like a lot of it is kind of like ridiculous macho dick measuring. But in terms of what he says about being financially free, like independent from like the powers that be that make you want to be weak and stupid, like maybe he's disrespectful to women, but also maybe not. I mean, I feel like I've seen the media like turn on literally anyone who either speaks common sense or wants to escape the forces that just want to kind of like clamp down on all of us and vampire us. I feel like these forces try to get stronger and stronger. So this is not me being an Andrew Tate apologist. I haven't really like consumed any of his content whatsoever, but I'm like, maybe he appeals to me because I think probably all the pearl clutching and outrage most likely is manufactured. It's a bit like Jordan Peterson. I feel the same about him. All I've ever seen Jordan Peterson say, like, he's been a bit stubborn about pronouns, but freedom of speech. And like, is it that damaging that he wants young men to sort of get a job and make their beds. I don't think it's that bad. So just like, so in fact, like, what is that? What am I even doing? Putting my real thoughts about this on the internet. I'm kind of like living with a constant fear of being cancelled. And anyway, I don't know. Like, but as for Andrew Tate, what can I say? My subconscious thinks he's all right. I mean, probably a piece of shit, but like, so what else is new? I appreciate the impulse to escape shadowy forces that want to extract your energy and wealth and time. Being independent from that is something I want as well. Maybe I'm just living in a delusional bubble, and maybe he's actually awful. Who knows? I'm not really gonna research it. All I know is that it's almost definitely shameful to admit that I had a sex dream about this person, because it's not like I'm like, excuse me, out here trying to actively align myself with Mr. Tate. But yeah. So fucking there you have it. Oh, let's finish on disturbing sex dreams or unexpected sex dreams. Very, very specific. The one that I remember so vividly from years and years ago, I was at university, I had the most beautiful, intense sex dream about Goldie, the drum and bass DJ, which, I mean, you can Google him. He was a grown man when I was a sort of like young, flighty, a teenager, like early 20s, like 21 max, I think. So he's probably pretty shriveled now. And even then he wasn't hot, like, he's got like the full gold teeth, big bald head, like wrinkled, like really intense, like big eyes. But I just remember Goldie had such like big, warm hands in my dream that he slid all over my body up and down and made me feel so safe and held and wonderful. I never forgot it. And it was a similar vibe with my Andrew Tate dream. I didn't have anything to worry about. He was like, all you have to do is surrender to me and you're going to love it. And I did. Yeah. Judge me if you want. You can't control your dreams. Please put in the comments people you've had sex dreams about, or even I was having this conversation, but it's about conscious people that you fancy but you shouldn't, and I said, again, there's a theme, isn't there? It's kind of like really like hyper masculine men. Gordon Ramsay was mine. And all of that, yes chef, no chef, like all that sexual aggression, the food as well, like that's a kind of like sensual thing. He's such a boss, he's so in control, it's fun. So I shared this vulnerably with a friend when we were talking about people that we had a crush on that really we knew was a bit embarrassing and shameful. And mine was not even the worst one because it was before current political events. But Laura, hello Laura, you know who you are. She said to me was Vladimir Putin. She really liked the shirtless, gunslinging, horse riding, this version of Putin. So good on you, Laura. I had to throw you under the bus there because, just to make myself look a bit less bad. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that vulnerable share. That's the best I've got. I think I could have done better, but, I've got to record a lot this week. I can't just spend all day daydreaming and following my impulses and making videos in this house, which is too fucking bad, isn't it? But that's what I did. So, thanks for watching. Am I doing this jazzy? Please subscribe. Please do. or not, you know, do what you want. That's